Ladies and gentlemen, things have gotten much worse for the Democrats than they ever could imagine. California's starting to shift. Democrats are desperate to stop the bleeding. And things are going so bad now that they're turning on each other in the governor's race. That's number one. But then you take a look at Los Angeles, things have gotten even worse. Where you got the current mayor, Karen Bass, and socialist city council member, Nithya Raman. After that last debate where Spencer Pratt wiped the floor with them, now they've gone into hiding, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, literally gone into hiding, backed out of the upcoming debates. And so Democrats are on life support, especially after the random call that was leaked where Bass basically admits to the devastating Palisades fire was an inside job, that she was more aware than she has let on in front of the camera, ladies and gentlemen. And so as always, if you enjoy the content, smash that thumbs up. That's the best way to let me know. Subscribe to stay locked in with the future videos. And so let's start right here.
Karen Bass is now backed out of a mayoral debate just days after a heated showdown on stage. Bass had previously agreed to take part in a televised mayoral forum this Wednesday with organizers, saying the date was set around her schedule as other candidates adjusted theirs to make it work. Her exit comes just days after a contentious debate where she faced sharp criticism, particularly from reality TV star Spencer Pratt over crime, homelessness, rising costs, and her response to the deadly LA wildfires.
What I'm talking about is what thousands of moms message me every day, come up to me. They don't feel safe. And I'm saying, as mayor, I'm going to enforce the laws that exist to make moms and kids feel safe in front of their schools, on their sidewalks, in front of parks, in front of daycare. So that message resonates. So I don't think it could have gone better, because my opponents will not tell these mothers anything they want to hear about keeping them safe.
So you didn't see the most recent debate between Pratt, Karen Bass, Nithya Raman, who she has now backed out also suddenly of the upcoming debate. Let me give you a quick rundown how it went. It was basically Karen Bass getting fact-checked live, Nithya Raman sounding like a complete political novice with no real experience, and Spencer Pratt delivering a masterclass, ladies and gentlemen, and speaking directly to the issues everyday people in the city of Los Angeles, what they are dealing with. He talked about using the laws that are already on the books and actually, you know what, enforcing them, applying basic common sense to clean up the city. And apparently that was more than enough to send both of them into hiding and make them want to stay as far away from Pratt as possible, because that debate definitely did not go according to plan. And you know it's bad, not just that they're backing out of the debate, but then they're also, I guess, running hit pieces instead. I mean, take a listen.
After CBS embarrassed Karen Bass by fact-checking her debate lies about the Palisades fire, they clearly got the call. CBS filmed with me on my burnt-out lot for over an hour talking about crime, housing, affordability, things that voters care about. And they turned it over to Karen Bass's PR team to edit it into a comical 5-minute hit piece with clips from the hills. They can't beat my ideas. They can't beat me in the debates, so they got to try to turn my campaign into a sideshow. People are done with these skeezy political tricks, and I'm done with CBS. They should release the full, unedited interview the voters deserve to hear from their next mayor.
It looks like the left is on life support because people are finally realizing they do not have to just hand their cities over to these Democrat politicians and then be destined for destruction. Karen Bass, instead of taking accountability for what is happening in Los Angeles, she keeps trying to pass responsibility, make excuses, and detach herself from controversy surrounding her leadership. But things have gotten so bad that even CNN had to put Bass on the hot seat. And so when CNN is pressing the left in Los Angeles, you know the situation is getting harder to just spin and ignore. Check it out.
Your challengers have accused you of mismanaging that response on a number of levels. Spencer Pratt personally blames you for his family losing their homes in those fires. Are you responsible for what happened there and the mismanagement that did occur in those fires and the response to them?
Let me just say that as the mayor of the city, the buck stops with me. That is very, very clear. What was true of our city, but not just our city, our region, our county, was that we were not prepared because, let me just tell you, with climate change, we are experiencing climate events that Los Angeles is not prepared for.
CNN put a very direct question towards her. Is this your fault? And she gives the usual political answer. The buck stops with me. I mean, pretty par for the course. But then almost immediately, also par for the course, she redirects the conversation into some vague excuse about climate change. And so now let's get into this audio I want you to hear, because once you hear this, it's going to make that statement look pretty much impossible to believe that she just told mainstream media. Because in this leak call, Karen Bass basically gives the old wink, wink, nudge, nudge version of the truth, where she knows what's going on, but she's not going to say it out loud publicly. No. And that goes against everything we just heard her say in the mainstream media. Yeah, and so I want you to listen closely to this, because this is where the public talking points that she's trying to make and then her private conversation, they start telling two very different stories, ladies and gentlemen. But take a listen.
The situation is very dangerous, and I would never I will take the criticism before I do a publicity stunt. And frankly, a press conference at this point in time would just be publicity.
I think
the
neighbors, the property owners,
yeah,
and the residents. I mean, 41,000 people live within a square mile here.
Yeah.
Two families share a one-bedroom apartment.
But they want to hear that something is going to be done.
They want to know it's recognized. But they want to know it's recognized.
Exactly. But if I have a choice between that and compromising something, I just have to go along with it. It's not my area of expertise. I want to make sure that you are safe. And hopefully you can read in between the lines. But I would just appreciate and it's hard for me to tell you this, but hold tight. You will understand soon.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And when I am able to talk, I will be happy to go into great detail.
Okay. And you've got me on the street, and you're welcome to call me at any time. I'll call you right back.
No problem. And just in terms of my trip, just so you know, I'm missing 2 work days. Okay. That's it. And if President Biden extends me an invitation, I took it.
So when you hear Spencer Pratt say during the debate, he said, Bass is an incredible liar. This is, Exhibit A, this is probably what he's talking about. Because, listen, you just heard it right there. Nothing about that leak conversation made it sound like she was in the dark or even truly remorseful about what happened with the Palisades fire. Now, publicly, she can fall back on the same excuse. We just heard it. She'll yell out climate change is unpredictable. Nobody could have seen this coming. Nobody could have acted faster. Nobody could have stopped it, right? She's going to use all of the most extreme excuses to try and avoid accountability. But then privately, the conversation sounds very, very different. And so now I want to go back to that debate, because it got so bad for Karen Bass that even mainstream news sources, NBC in this case, they started fact checking her. And this is what they found. Check it out.
LA's first mayoral debate got off to a heated start.
She's an incredible liar.
No name calling,
She just
please.
lied, though.
But a few exchanges caught my attention because they touched directly on a year of reporting I've been working on the LA fires, being published by Simon & Schuster next week. So let's fact check some of what was said, beginning with the wind.
The winds in the Pacific Palisades never reached higher than 40 miles per hour. For those first 6 hours, they didn't go above 27 miles per hour.
He talked about the winds. That is just completely inaccurate. If that were accurate, then the planes would have been able to fly.
Weather modeling reviewed for my reporting shows winds in the Palisades during those first several hours of the fire were in fact under 40 miles per hour. Planes could and did fly. The stronger winds intensified later in the evening, and that distinction matters because the earliest hours of a wildfire are often the most critical for containment. Second, Mayor Bass's trip to Ghana. She addressed this directly.
It was one of the worst moments of my life to not be here when my city needed me. And it didn't matter where I was or why I was away.
But according to multiple sources with direct knowledge of the emergency response, it did matter where the mayor was. My reporting found Mayor Bass knew about the dangerous weather before leaving for Ghana. Communications to emergency managers described her as only being, quote, out of state. And while she was overseas, her office continued posting on social media images and videos that appeared to place her in Los Angeles. Sources told me the lack of clarity created confusion during the opening hours of the fire. Fire Chief Kristen Crowley did not initially know the mayor was even in Ghana, and according to sources and records reviewed for the book, after Bass was briefed by the chief on the growing fire, she still attended a cocktail reception in Ghana and did not respond for more than an hour to messages from Los Angeles officials offering and asking for help during that critical stretch of the fire's expansion. This isn't about politics, it's reporting. And as the fire becomes a part of the mayoral race, voters are likely to learn a lot more about those first critical hours.
We're watching Karen Bass's incompetence get so bad that even the mainstream media, they cannot ignore the obvious contradictions that she keeps making. And that's exactly why she probably chose to cancel the debate, right? Because it's easy. Listen, it's easy for her. She gets the endorsements. That's easy. It's easy to gain support when you have the Democrat machine behind you. It's easy. You can hide behind polished ads. That's easy too. Friendly coverage, which she gets. Yeah, that's easy too. Surprised CNN did that, matter of fact. When you got all those protections and those barriers, yeah, it's not going to really be that challenging. But what she couldn't hide from is what happened on that debate stage and what people saw and heard with their own eyes and ears. On that stage, voters saw a mayor who lacked any type of leadership, urgency, or just basic competence needed to run a city like Los Angeles, right? Listen, let's get into this next part because the disconnect was so bad that even the ads Karen Bass is running against Spencer Pratt, ads that are supposed to make him look bad, when you actually look at them, they make him look like he's the only one operating using, common sense. Take a listen.
Republican Spencer Pratt is the last thing Los Angeles needs for mayor. Pratt opposes using taxpayer money to build brand new houses for our unhoused neighbors, saying it's time for the homeless to get help or get out. Pratt thinks LA needs thousands more police officers rather than more social workers, and Republican Spencer Pratt thinks public employee unions should have less power, not more. LA is on the right track and needs to stay the course. Vote no on Republican Spencer Pratt.
Spencer Pratt is a prime example of what happens when Democrats move so far to the left that they start to lose normal people. Pratt has been a longtime Democrat, but because the left no longer operates with basic common sense, he doesn't even want to be associated with them. I mean, we're not talking about some hard-nosed Texan from the South. We're talking about a former reality TV star who's from and grew up in Los Angeles, California, and they couldn't get that guy to buy into the liberal delusion. That's how bad it's gotten. He doesn't want to even be associated with them anymore. And so that's what Democrats should really be worried about. Because when people who used to be on your side start saying, I can't even rock with you anymore, I'm getting off this boat, that's a big problem. And so let's go into this next part where Spencer Pratt breaks down exactly what he'd do if elected. Take a listen.
So when I'm mayor, my plan is first 3 weeks, signs up across the city. No more nakedness, no more drug use, no more robbing, no more
burning dogs in the street.
No more dog abuse. Yeah. On every sign, on every board. So that, and we're gonna go around, we're gonna warn everybody, hey, got 3 more weeks of this. Like, clock's ticking. Just keep telling everyone, so the people that are aware, they're like, oh, wow, there's a new mayor in town. They may start leaving. And then when the 3 weeks, or maybe we'll even do 2 weeks, maybe people will want it faster. And then once we start enforcing the laws, boom, streets will be back. You know who else I'm gonna bring in? The CDC, because there's medieval diseases in these encampments. They're not swabbing these encampments. They're not swabbing the streets. People are just living in feces and drug use and dogs burning and bodies. We need these streets cleaned.
Yeah, so let's be clear. It most certainly still a long shot for Spencer Pratt to win because this is Los Angeles. Okay, that's number one. But the fact that this guy without traditional political experience walked into a debate and wiped the floor with more seasoned politicians, I think that says something. And the fact that Bass is running ads and hit pieces against him tells you something else also. There's real fear there that he could actually win. The only question now is how fed up are the people in California and Los Angeles with what's going on? And so we'll see about that soon enough. But those are my thoughts in the update. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your comments down below. I appreciate when you chime in. Smash that thumbs up if you do enjoy the content. And for more, subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.